What's new, crew? If you're new, my name is Cassandra. Today we are breaking down my once a month meal plan for my family of 6 headed into the month of March. I grocery shop once a month, so I make sure that I sit down at the end of every month to plan for the next month's worth of meals. That way I can do my grocery shopping adequately and get everything I need all at once for my family. It's just so much more convenient for me. I've had so many of you guys recently tell me in the comments that you guys have also switched to once a month grocery shopping, and it has made life so much easier for you guys. So we are sitting down to talk about that today. Nothing too crazy heading into March. March is typically like the last month where I'll have more wintry, heartier meals. And heading into April and definitely into May is when we switch into summer meals until probably around 7. A huge intro today, so let's just go ahead and hop in. The first meal that I'm gonna do is a Cajun chicken pasta. We make a Cajun chicken Alfredo. This recipe looked a little bit different than that, so I wanted to give it a go. I find all of my meals off of Pinterest. Whenever I need a meal plan, I just go to Pinterest. That's where I will look at my saved pins and then just look for new things, and it makes meal planning kind of brainless because I can sit down on the couch while my kids are all watching a cartoon or playing on the floor or whatever, and I can just kind of casually do my meal planning. Sometimes I do it over a week, sometimes I do it over a couple of days, and sometimes I just do it all right at once. This was a month where I did it about over the course of a week. I'm gonna do a sausage orzo. We've been really into orzo recently, stocked up a couple months ago. So we're gonna use some of our stock up orzo. We're also gonna do walking tacos. This was a request from the kids. We don't do walking tacos very often, or like something like that. We usually save those for like parties or when we're hosting or something, we'll do walking tacos, but the kids really like them and it was a request, so we're definitely gonna do those. A chicken tortellini soup. I really like chicken tortellini soup. We haven't done it a lot this winter. We stuck a lot more to like egg noodles or dumplings, or the like copycat Olive Garden gnocchi soup we did a lot this winter. So it's just switching it up just a hair, and like I said, this is probably the last month we're gonna eat it. Maybe we'll do it like one more soup rotation for April. It really just depends on what the weather is looking like, but like today it's almost 60 degrees. It's like 50 some degrees, but the wind is just whipping, so it feels like it's 40, but still way warmer than it has been over the last like 2 months, so it feels really good. We're gonna do a garlic and brown sugar pork chop. We do this on occasion. Our favorite way to eat the pork chops are either smothered pork chops with some sort of a gravy, or we will do a teriyaki pork chop. It's pretty similar to the teriyaki pork chop, it's just slightly different, so we're gonna do that this month. We're also gonna do some loaded quesadillas. This was something that was on my meal plan for last month and didn't get done at the point of filming this. I still have a couple of days, so we might still do this before the end of the month, but it's something I definitely wanted to try, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do meatball subs. That's one of my husband's favorites. We haven't done it in a while, so I figured we would do that. I will either make the sub rolls or I will order them. One of my favorite things that Walmart sells are their big bag of sub rolls. I typically will get like the 6-inch sub rolls. I think there's 24 of them in a bag and they're like $3 or $4. I love those things. I will take some of them and put them in the pantry, and the rest of the bag I will just stick right in the freezer and pull them out. Like every Sunday I'll pull out 6 sub rolls, and then we can have subs kind of throughout the week for my husband to bring to work or for us to do for dinner or something like that. It's something I will get a ton throughout the summertime because we will do deli sandwiches a lot for lunches or even dinners, because you don't have to like heat the whole house up. You can put some meat on the grill, throw it on the sub roll, and put whatever garden veggies that we have on top, and it's just really great. So we're gonna do those. We're gonna do stuffing meatballs. We haven't done those in a while, and we don't have a whole lot of ground beef left in the freezers, so until we can get our next shipment of a cow in, I'm kind of slowing down on the ground beef and trying to eat through some of the other things, or supplementing with like store-bought convenience items. Like I will probably end up buying the meatballs from the store to make our ground beef stretch until the next shipment comes in. But for these stuffing meatballs, I'm going to use Italian sausage. It's really good. It's one of the kids' favorite things. We're gonna do calzones. We're switching it up from strombolis or homemade pizzas this month, and we're just gonna do calzones. They're a little bit more work, but I think that's gonna be okay. We're also gonna do a honey garlic chicken in the crock pot with like some carrots and some green beans, and we'll eat that probably on top of mashed potatoes. We might eat it over rice. It kind of just depends what the day brings when I'm making it that day, but we will see how it goes. Still have a crazy amount of trout in the freezer, so we're gonna do some roasted trout again. We're also gonna do stuffed shells. That's kind of our version of a lasagna. Every once in a while we will do a typical lasagna, but we all prefer stuffed shells in the jumbo shells, which is like a little cup of lasagna. Really great. We all like them. We like those over manicottis, but that's just personal preference, but really good, and my family loves them, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the apple cider pork shoulder or pork roast. This is something that I think I had on my meal plan a couple months ago. We keep skipping over it for whatever reason it ends up being, but I am gonna do that. I'm gonna wait until we have probably like a weekend where we have a lot of house projects we want to get done, because March is heading into when I will start spring cleaning. My Nana, she's passed away now, but my Nana used to always tell me as a teenager that spring cleaning should be done by Easter. So I still hold myself to that standard because Nana knows best. Nana knows best. She passed away when I was in high school, so before I ever like became an adult and things, but I still remember a lot of the things that she would tell me because I would spend a ton of my weekends up there with her. She lived in the country, and that was like a huge stepping stone into my life where once I became an adult and we bought a house, I wanted to move to the country, and nature walks and hiking and all those things, it always makes me think of her. But she always said that spring cleaning needs to be done by Easter. So I usually start in March, kind of work my way through March with all of the like obvious deep cleaning, spring cleaning, decluttering, organization, all those things. And then I like to take April to get into some of those like nitty gritty things I sometimes forget about or don't always make a priority, or just sometimes once you start cleaning, you see more things that need to be done, and it gives you ideas for projects and things like that. So I'm pretty sure I will save that meal for a weekend where I'm just in it. I'm feeling really motivated to get in and like clean all my light fixtures and get all the winter cobwebs and all of the things that you don't see throughout the winter time. Very excited about that. I can tell you, I'm someone who really likes spring cleaning. Sometimes it can feel a hair overwhelming because once you start the list, sometimes your list starts like this and then it's like this. But we keep our stuff pretty well maintained, like just on a day-to-day basis. So spring cleaning doesn't have to be super intimidating all of the time. But sometimes, like I said, once you start, you see a ton more things that you just feel like you need to get into, all those like little corners and cracks and things. So that'll be a good meal for something like that. I can just put it in the crock pot, I can put it in the roaster pan and just clean to my heart's content, and when I'm done I don't have to worry about making dinner. I'm gonna do a barbecue picnic pork steak. We still have a handful of old pieces of pork in the freezers. If you watch my freezer cleanup videos, I can link that down below if you're interested. We found a couple pieces of old pork that I thought we had gone through, and found a couple more pieces that I had missed, and we're just gonna keep working through those. Just yesterday I roasted up some of the pork hocks and we used those and made pasties, so we are making through them, are getting through some of that old stuff slowly but surely. We're gonna do a Marry Me orzo. It's kind of like, I think it's like the same recipe as the Marry Me chicken. And instead of putting it over pasta, we're just gonna put it all into a one-pot dinner with some orzo. My kids really like the Marry Me chicken recipe, so I think they'll like it with the orzo. We're gonna do KFC bowls. This is something I have not done in a very long time. I don't know if it was the pregnancy, but when I saw it come up on Pinterest, I was like, oh yes, we should definitely, yes. Yes, so we're gonna do those, and it'll be a really easy dinner too. That could be something that I could also plan for when I have leftover mashed potatoes, is just heat up the mashed potatoes and then kind of throw the rest of the bits in the oven, and it'll be good. We're gonna do a tater tot casserole. This is kind of a go-to recipe for me when I don't know how else to fill out my meal plan. It also makes a lot of leftovers. Even for us, it's a very hearty, very filling dish. So a 9x13 pan, typically it will last us a handful of days because we'll use it for leftovers for lunches and things, and I really like that. So we're gonna do those. We're also gonna do a gnocchi beef stew. I think I've had this on my meal plan a couple times, and then when I'm grocery shopping I forget to get the beef roast. I just kind of like forget about it, and then I don't have it, so I end up skipping over the meal. However, I think this month I'm gonna have my husband stop at Sam's Club on his way home from work one day and have him pick up a roast. A lot of you guys told me in the comments last time I picked up a beef roast during my grocery hauls that Sam's Club has really good deals on them, and they're like really good. You guys recommended them, so I'm gonna listen, and I think I'll have him pick it up on his way home. We're also gonna do McDonald's snack wraps. This is another one that I saw on Pinterest and went, ooh, yes. I love wraps in general, chicken wraps or like chicken Caesars wraps. Anything that I can douse in honey mustard right now is my favorite thing. So it looked absolutely delicious. All of my kids and my husband really like chicken wraps as well. Really easy dinner, and it's also something that if I am spring cleaning or I'm working on different projects and things around the house, it would be a nice weekend meal where I can just throw it in the oven and like whatever chicken we want, or we can just do lunch meat and things, and as long as I have honey mustard to put on it, I'll be really happy, and as long as the kids have fresh vegetables to put in it, they'll be really happy. So we're gonna do potato wedges and sliders. My kids have gotten to the point recently where they prefer my chicken, or they prefer my potato wedges over like a store-bought french fry, so that's been pretty cool. The kids like the potato wedges. We're gonna do the potato wedges in some sort of slider, whether that be like a Big Mac slider or something. We'll figure it out that day, kind of what everybody is feeling, but that's just the idea for the meal. We're also gonna do a cheesy potato meat burrito. I might pick up some chorizo for this meal. I might end up using some ground beef for this meal. We'll end up seeing what happens. But that was another one. It just looked really good, and I think I could make this in bulk and put some in the freezers and be able to pull them out for easy lunches or whatever kind of over the next couple of weeks. We're gonna do a sweet and sour meatball with some of our garden onions and our garden peppers. This is another one I can just dump in the crock pot. We can either eat it over mashed potatoes or we can eat it over rice. I like to have those options. My kids' favorite meals is raviolis with this like ravioli sauce. It's another recipe I got off of Pinterest. A little bit of chicken stock, some heavy cream, some tomato paste, like garlic, basil. It's a pretty simple sauce, but the kids love it. You toss your raviolis in it, or you can toss your tortellinis in it. Really, really good. The kids love it. I found a recipe for pizza grilled cheese, which we do a lot for lunch, but we've never done for dinner. So I think I might just give that a try as well. Maybe we'll put some ham in it and some pepperonis or whatever. We could even put bell peppers in it or caramelized onions. I think it would be pretty good. We can dip it in either pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, tomatoes, soup. We have options there. And my husband told me to leave 2 meals open because he's gonna make dinner two days throughout the month because I don't know what he's making, but he told me to leave them open, not to plan a meal for them. He's gonna take care of it. He'll probably end up doing steaks or something when my husband cooks. That's typically what it is. So we will see what that goes or what he ends up coming, but he told me to block off 2 days for him, and he wants to cook for us. So he must have some recipes in mind that he wants to try out. And the last 4 meals are all meals that I left open because I have 4 days this month where my husband is teaching a night school class and he won't be home. Recently, over the last like 2 months or so, while I'm grocery shopping at Aldi, I said I'm just gonna buy 4 convenience meals, and those are gonna be my like night school meals when my husband's not home, and it's just easy cleanup, preheating the oven or dumping stuff in a skillet and heating it up. Sometimes I will plan for leftovers that night, but I like to have 4 options of convenience meals for me, and if I don't end up using them for the nights he teaches, I will use them for like a Saturday afternoon lunch or something like that. We always end up using the convenience meals for something else, so it's not any, it doesn't take up any extra room really to have those meals in my freezer or on my shelf, and I can pull them out when and if I need them. It's pretty simple. So that is my meal plan for March for our family of 6. Budget friendly, eating out of the freezers, eating out of the pantries, and just kind of planning and starting to think about switching up our meals over the next, you know, April, May-ish, depending on how quickly the weather warms up here, because then we'll head into grilling and fresh eating from the garden, and our meals and our diets switch primarily to whatever is catering out of the garden. That kind of dictates all of the meals, whatever is coming out of the garden at the time throughout the next handful of months. So thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me and talk about my once a month kind of large family budget meal plan. I hope wherever you are, you're having a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys in another one. Bye.